I think we're done putting ourselves over. No, Kaliko?
I don't think we're ever done. It's a never-ending story.
Never-ending story. Speaking of never-ending stories, there are um a lot of the people that got released earlier this year. Their 90 days are coming up. There's not a shortage of people, so obviously there's a lot of speculation on who is going to land where. If you believe rumor and innuendo, um, AEW is planning on hiring seven of the released wrestlers after April. Um, I mean, a lot of people within AEW feel like the roster is kind of oversaturated to begin with, so adding new people are just going to make it, harder to get on TV. Which I mean, I completely understand. But if you're Tony Khan, who are you looking at as these seven individuals? And do you think that anybody that was on the cut list is going to make a significant impact out of WWE?
I think who the hell was on that list? Well, I know Alistair Black could probably go back along with Zelina. Kyrie Sane is an interesting one to me.
Yeah.
Um, I think someone of her caliber can put a little jolt into the division. Just on name recognition. I mean, if she goes back to Pirate Princess, I think she could probably do something. I'm trying to think who else. The Wyatt Six kind of already are. I think they're slated for WrestleCon. If I'm not mistaken. So I know that they're slated for WrestleCon. I'm trying to think who else was on that list. It seemed like a very extensive list.
It was an extensive list.
Let me see. But those three pop up off the rip. Um, and then of course, like I said, the six, all six or five or whatever you call them. Um, they are. Oh, hold on one second.
Well, Kaliko is dealing with the conductor. I'll draw my 2 cents into it. I don't exactly know who is going to be those seven individuals. Obviously, I think Tony Khan would take Aleister Black back in a heartbeat because that's just him. But it does seem like there is heat between Aleister and the rest of the AEW locker room. So, I mean, it would just be, one word from like an MJF saying like, I don't really want this guy here. And, maybe Tony Khan will actually, take that into consideration. I don't know. I don't think that uh I don't think what is his name? Um the guy that was in the Wyatt Six that was the kidnapper, Dexter Loomis. There we go. Dexter Loomis.
Yeah, Dexter Loomis.
I
Now
think
that's the conductor.
I think
That
Dex
fucking.
I think Dexter's going to TNA because Indy Hartwell already kind of teased that they were going to get back together and kind of reclick and reconnect.
Train congestion here.
So I think that that's where he's going to land. But honestly, I don't think that anybody that they hire is going to move that proverbial needle one way or the other. I don't. We're not
I
going to see.
mean,
Oh, what was you going to say?
yeah, no one's gonna really like. I don't think there's needle movers. the biggest needle mover maybe is Kofi at best. Maybe Santos Escobar because I totally forgot he was on that list.
Yes, he was.
Um, so I'm thinking at best Kofi could probably, but that depends if Kofi. I mean, Kofi's been in so long, he really doesn't need it. Like, I would think he's a guy who kind of got his finances straight. He really doesn't really. If he's doing it, it's for the love of the game.
I mean, true.
Um,
I mean, right now, the only thing that would be. I mean, if they give him a singles one, I don't think that that's something he would sneeze at, honestly. But if he's doing, the tag team gimmick, then it's only really for, dream matches, so to speak. The Young Bucks versus the New Day. Um, Edge and Christian versus the New Day. Who else? I don't even know what other. Oh, FTR versus the New Day. But I think we've seen that before.
but I think Austin Creed is. I mean, what's his face is still there.
Who?
What's is still there.
Oh, what's got released?
He got released, but I think they brought him back on like a video game type deal.
So does that mean that he can't wrestle if he's just doing the video games?
I don't know. That's where the dichotomy interests me. But even then, I wouldn't think. I mean, the problem with that is that Kofi's been such a WWE guy for so long that it would feel out of place, right? Like even with like Angle was there for like what? But Angle was there for like 4 or 5, like 6, 7 years. Kofi's been there for a good 20.
Yeah, he was one of the longest tenured members at the time of his release. I think the only people that was there longer was Randy Orton and The Miz.
Right. So I mean, it'd be. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it would be very. He'd be in the same box as like kind of like Dolph Ziggler. It's basically becoming a whole different person away from TNA or away from WWE in a sense.
I mean,
But that's just me.
did he become a different person? It seems like he's doing the same thing he was doing, just with his real name now.
I mean, but he kind of incorporated his brother gimmick, and it kind of gave it a fresh lens, as especially as a heel. So, and then he went to AAA with JBL. That kind of brought it a fresh lens. So, you know,
I get it. Well, while some people are looking to get into AEW, others are looking to get out. If you believe the rumor and innuendo. Sammy Guevara and Tay Mello, looking to leave the company or at least wait their contracts to be come up. And won't be renewing. I don't know how accurate that is, but considering that, Sammy Guevara was considered like one of their biggest stars and, the future of pro wrestling, and then, you know, essentially relegated to Ring of Honor duty, teaming with Dustin Rhodes. I mean, it kind of shows you, how much stock he dropped in the last 6 years. Um, Personally, I think if he's and I believe Tay just wants to get out of pro wrestling. I mean, she hasn't unfortunately done a lot as long as she's been there, not just in AEW, but pro wrestling in general. Um, so no slack to her on that. But personally, if Sammy is smart, I would think if, Tony was to offer him another contract that he would maybe just take it because I would say that his stock is really low. And I would also say that he's maybe not one of the most well liked people, locker room wise as well. Maybe that's changed over the years. I haven't heard a lot about him, in the news. I don't even remember the last time we spoke about him in the news, or even during a preview or review of a AEW show. So again, like his stock is way low. And unless he has goodwill to build upon, I don't see another company taking a chance on him. I definitely don't think WWE is gonna
Right.
pull the trigger on him. You know, Jack Perry's um Jack Perry's contract came up not too long ago, and WWE had zero interest in him. So I don't see them having that same interest in Sammy either. So I mean, maybe a TNA would take a chance on him, but I mean, the best he could probably do is a GCW. No?
From what I heard, because from what I was researching, is Tay is getting granted her release, and it's Sammy who's staying. So that's the thing that I got. So I think it's just more of a Tay and a Sammy is staying type deal. And I mean, he's young. I mean, it's not too late for him. Um, because I mean, keep in mind, prime WWE, prime in wrestling terms is like your 40s. Let's be quite honest. Like,
40s, you said.
I have yet, yeah, because
Yeah.
when have you seen when was the last 20-year-old became like the face of a wrestling company?
I mean,
Like of any of those major companies?
it's definitely been a hot minute, but Opa's definitely on his way at this point.
Who?
Oba.
Oh. He's on his way, but it's
That's
going
what
to
I'm
be a
saying.
while for him. It's going to be a while. And that's why I'm like, he has, or change around his reputation, whatever that may be, or change his perception, whatever that may be. Get better, whatever that.
No.
So I mean, just root for him to succeed. I mean, Tay seems like she's more mom mode, mom OF mode, but you never know.
Right. I mean, again, I'm happy for her if she wants to, step away from, wrestling, be a mom, do other things, that's fine. Again, she didn't have that a big of an impact on the pro wrestling world as a whole, to begin with. Uh, I would make an argument that Sammy hasn't had that big of an impact on the pro wrestling world either. Uh, but yeah, there's just been like a lot of weird things on social media where they're saying his contract's up, he changes his bio, maybe he's just teasing, maybe he's being a rage baiter or a troll or something of that nature. But I would definitely say if he's smart, he'll stay where he is because I don't think that it would necessarily work out for him anywhere else, unfortunately. Unless, like you said, he changes his outlook.
Yeah, and that can happen. I mean, it's not too late.
No, it
He's
absolutely can.
only like in his he's in his 20s. He's got time to figure it out. I wouldn't.
For his sake, I hope he does. Um, Somebody figuring it out is a one Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He has entered into private arbitrations with Janelle Grant. Um, there is hope or speculation that this whole lawsuit will be coming to an end sooner rather than later. That being said, there is speculation that once this is all said and done, that Vince McMahon will be making a return to pro wrestling, specifically WWE. I don't know how accurate that is, but I mean, it's Vince McMahon at the ending of the day, and when it comes to Vince McMahon, nothing is, uncertain. Like, he does, if he wants to slide back in there, he probably can. But what are your thoughts, Kojo?
Hey man, nothing says they say money talk, bullshit walks. That's what it seemed like with Vince, but I swear that dude got like 8 lives. It seems like he's got a bunch of lives, but hey, he gets out of it again. Or at least that's what it seems like. But I don't think he's going back to WWE. It's too TKO heavy now. It's done data.
You say too TKO heavy, but I mean, again, it's Vince McMahon. You don't think that he would have put a clause in there that he could slide his way back in there?
If that was the case, they wouldn't have taken him out in the first place.
I disagree with that. I would even I would even go to say that he removed himself from the situation so he could deal with this, so, it doesn't put heat on the company, even though it put heat on the company. Uh, and, I mean, the minute that Brock Lesnar was not necessarily put in the crosshairs of this lawsuit, they brought him right back. So, I mean, it stands to reason that they wouldn't do the same with, Vince.
I don't see it. I just don't. I don't see Vince getting back in it. I mean, that's a cutthroat ass move, and I wouldn't put it past him. I just think his barrier to entry is a lot tougher.
And I mean,
Which I think that's probably the biggest.
wouldn't you think that Vince McMahon would get a big pop if he returned?
That is a very confusing question. Because the question is popping back for who? Popping back as Vince the man or Vince the character?
I mean, is there any difference between Brock Lesnar the person and Brock Lesnar the character? And if, last year at SummerSlam, there was no roof on that arena, but if there was, it would have blown off if, when Brock Lesnar came out.
With Brock Lesnar, the character, you don't know Brock. But here's the thing: the closest you got to Brock Lesnar, the man, was UFC.
Which is no different than Brock Lesnar, the way Brock Lesnar is now in pro WWE.
Exactly. So how can we get? There's nothing to gauge the difference from, right? Prime example: Undertaker. Undertaker's getting flack as Undertaker the man, but people still revere Undertaker. Now Hulk Hogan, he just called all kind of shit because he blended the man and the character. He didn't delineate the line, or the man that he was so abstract from the character that it just
And I think Ric Flair, he just became...
it's I say it's confusing when it's meant. I'm confused.
And I would say, like Ric Flair, he was the character of Ric Flair, and then he slowly just became Ric Flair over the years. Oh,
To the point where you can't even tell, like you can't delineate difference.
right. You know, if if he slides back in and he actually, lowers ticket prices and, put a little bit of Vince McMahon in there, then, I don't think I'm gonna necessarily be mad about that. If he brings back live events, touring, if he, you know, things that we desperately want back and need back for WWE, then I'd be for it. I don't know how the booking would go,
I mean,
but
but
I mean, the booking's not that great right now either. So, it's, you know, I, it's not really compensating for anything. It's not saying much, I suppose.
well, my thing is that it's tough for him because he can come back with all they want, but it's a whole different culture today than what it was even 2 years ago. So that's why I said that is probably going if this even all happens because I don't think it's all happening, but it would be one of the biggest goddamn um, what the fuck are we doing moments ever because it's gonna be kind of hard to delineate the man from the person. The character from the person, and it's a tall task. The tallest of all tasks.
We shall see.
We will see, but it's gonna be tough. It'll be tough.
Now, now a quick word from. Well, that will conclude the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.